Hi folks, welcome back. Well, today was the Kendal Record Fair. Now, it should have been last weekend, but was moved back a week. So hands up anybody who made the 150-mile round trip last weekend? That was me. My excuse is that after my Facebook account was hacked and disabled, I never saw the notification of the date change. But really, it's no excuse. I could have checked the website and seen that it had changed. But I just naturally assumed it was on the same date as it was meant to be. Never mind. It was a nice weekend last weekend, so it was a nice trip out, I suppose. Anyway, went today, picked up a bunch of stuff, as is my wont. So let's have a look at what I managed to get. And first up is this album by Miroslav Vitus, Mountain in the Clouds. Miroslav Vitus, probably most famous for being a member of Weather Report. He was the bassist. This is an album recorded, I think, in 1969, at the end of 1969, along with John McLaughlin on guitar, Joe Henderson on sax, Herbie Hancock on electric piano, and Jacques DeJohnette on drums on a couple of tracks, and Joe Chambers on drums on the other tracks. This is on Atlantic. I think it was previously issued, it says here, in an altered form as Infinite Search. But they've added one more track and remixed some of the other tracks. And this was reissued in 1972. This is an American copy. Sticking with the jazz, I've got these two albums by Don Cherry. Mew first part and Mew second part. First part, sorry for the glare, in the back of his second part. Smitty looks fairly scary there. I've got a couple of other Don Cherry albums which I really enjoy. He can be a bit out there, free jazz. These albums were recorded, I think, at a single session in August 1969 and were originally issued on the BYG label. They feature just Don on pocket trumpet, piano, Indian flute, bamboo flute, and he's accompanied solely by Ed Blackwell on drums. This is going to be, I think, free jazz mixed with world music, highly improvised. Could be taking a bit of a risk with these, but like I say, I've got a couple of other albums that I've by him that I really enjoy, so hopefully I will enjoy these too. Next up is the band Siren and their album Strange Locomotion. Now, Siren were Kevin Coyne's band, first band, before he went solo. They did two albums, and this is the second one. This is a die-cut cover. Now, this is an American copy of the album. The original had a different cover in the UK. Oops. And it was released on John Peel's Dandelion label. There you go. I love that label. I think that's so pretty. Yeah, I'm quite a big fan of Kevin Coyne's work, but I've never heard the Siren albums, so I'm looking forward to giving them a listen. In America, I think these were released by Elektra, probably on a license. This is 1971. And sticking with Kevin Coyne, I've got his, I think, 1975 album, yeah, on Virgin, Matching Head and Feet. There's the man himself. And in the band you get Archie Leggett on bass, Tim Penn on keyboards, Andy Summers on electric guitars, Gordon Smith on acoustic, electric and slide guitars, and Peter Wolf on drums. Then we get my first album on any format by the Fugs. The Fugs were a whacked out psychedelic folk band, highly political and satirical in nature. I have heard them many years ago. From what I remember, they seemed like a folk rock version of the Mothers in many ways. Fairly rough and ready. But I've not heard them for a long time. I'm taking a bit of a punt again that I'm still gonna like this. This was fairly cheap because it's not an original. It's an Edsel reissue from, I think, probably the mid-80s. And I was so pleased to find the incredible String Band's first album. I've been picking up a lot of ISB albums over the last year or two. I think I've only got 2 more to get now. This was on the Elektra label. This is when they were a 3-piece with Robin Williamson, Mike Herron and Clive Palmer. Clive Palmer leaving after this album. This is the album that includes probably one of Robin Williamson's most famous songs, October Song. I think it's their most sort of traditionally folky flavoured before they went down that whole psych world music sort of psychedelic folk route. Never actually heard the first album. Another one that I was so pleased to find, and that's Peter Hamill's second solo album, Chameleon in the Shadow of Night. Big fan of Vandergraaf Generator and of Peter Hamill's solo work. This is a UK original on Charisma. The cover's a bit grubby, but the vinyl looks superb from just first glance. This was probably my most expensive purchase. It was ticketed at 25 quid, but obviously I got a bit of a discount off it. Particularly because the guy who runs the fair, I'd messaged him that we'd been the week before and the fair was off, so he felt so sorry for us that he offered us an even bigger discount this week to cater for the petrol costs that we incurred last week. So no, I was really pleased to find this one. It's the only one of his first 7 or 8 albums that I'm missing. So excellent. Another one that I was pleased to find because it fills a hole in my collection. Again, massive fan of Hawkwind, and this is their album, The Chronicles of the Black Sword. From when was this? Early 80s, was it? Can't remember off the top of my head. 85, mid-80s, 85. I've got the live album, double live album of the Black Sword shows, but while I've had this on CD, I've never had it on vinyl. Probably the most famous song on here is Needle Gun. At the time, Hawkwind were Dave Brock, obviously, Harvey Bainbridge on synth and keyboards, Hugh Lloyd Langton on guitar, Alan Davey on bass, and Danny Thompson on drums. Really, again, so really pleased to find this at a very good price. And sticking with the proggy side of things, and we have an album by the Enid. This is The Spell. I'm not sure where this comes in their discography. I think this is fairly late on in their original life, before they sort of disbanded and then came back, I think, later on in the 2000s. This is obviously Robert Godfrey, the main guy, the keyboardist, and Steve Stewart, the guitarist. They're also accompanied by Dave Story on drums and Glyn Evans on bass. This plays at 45 RPM rather than 33 and a third. It's a double album with the first three sides being winter, spring, summer and autumn. I like the Enid, so I think I should enjoy that. The last two were sealed copies, brand new reissues. The first one is the Keith Hartley Band with their album Little Big Band from 1971. This is a live album, and I think it was the last of the album that they did. The band were obviously Keith Hartley on drums, Pete York on percussion, the great Gary Thane on bass guitar, Miller Anderson on guitar and vocals, and Derek Austin on organ and piano. But accompanying them were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, a 10-piece horn section with some of the cream of the British jazz players like Chris Mercer and Lynn Dobson on saxophones, Barbara Thompson on sax, Harry Beckett on trumpet, and others. Really looking forward to giving this a listen. And finally, we have the superb band The Move with their Live at the Fillmore 1969 double album, red vinyl. When was this? This came out in 2014. Big fan of The Move. There you go. According to the notes here by Carl Wayne, when they went to America to play the Fillmore in '69, they decided not to do their normal setup with all the big hits that they'd had in the UK. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the 9 tracks they perform. Excuse me. Only 3 are originals by the band. They do a Cherry Blossom Clinic Revisited, Hello Susie, and a 10-minute version of I Can Hear the Grass Grow, but no Fire Brigade, Blackberry Way, etc. The rest of the tracks were tracks I think they thought would be popular in the States at the time. A couple of Todd Rundgren tracks, Tom Paxton's The Last Thing on My Mind, Goffin and King's Going Back, etc. A couple of others. hoping this is going to be a really good one. The vendor, who's a massive Move fan, said it was a really good album, so should be excellent. So that was my trip out to Kendal. Quite pleased with what I managed to pick up. Hope everybody's well. Hope you're getting better weather than we are here. It's been raining off and on most of the day. Thunderstorms are threatened. So I will hopefully see you soon. Take care, folks. Bye.